Welcome to Jake's Bait and Tackle. We are located off of Interstate 81 in Winchester, Virginia. We are 4,000 square feet of all things fishing, the things you need for the northern Shenandoah Valley and all points beyond. Whether it's that custom bait maker you love or the hard to find bait, we do our best to find the products that you want. Let's find out what we're talking about today. Whether it be tips, tricks, or just a good old plain story, come into Jake's Bait and Tackle where tales are told and bait is sold.
Hey Thomas.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing today?
Came in for a visit. I want to show you some new stuff.
Okay.
All right, look, the bodegas are in.
Oh wow. This is a mega bass bait, guys. If you are really trying to get those smallmouth or those Lake Frederick giants, this thing right here is the size of your infant child. Tie this on a muskie rod or a catfish gear, great white shark setup. That'll catch you a Jaws this summer for sure. Wow.
Tumbleweeds.
The tumbleweeds are amazing.
You like those? Have you used them?
No, I haven't.
Do you even know what a tumbleweed is?
It's a dice.
Oh, there we go.
These guys right here, the Strike King Hairy dice, these actually are in stock. The original dice from Japan, I think, are about $22 on Tackle Warehouse or whatever JDM site you can get them from. Very hard to get a hold of, and so now we're finally seeing companies like Tackle Warehouse starting to use the dice in cheaper form. So again, guys, great if you want to experiment with this. You're not breaking the bank with these right here. Available now at Jake's Bait and Tackle.
A little different colors. And we got my JDM colors that just came in.
Ooh.
This is brand new from 6 Cents.
Oh wow!
Are they tiny?
This is awesome. This will be great for any of your minnow head fishing, but also just for crappie fishing or creek fishing. You'll be surprised, like a smallmouth, a rock bass, a sunfish on Connicajig Creek, Upper Potomac, Shenandoah. All of them will hit baits like this.
And what would you put on as a jig head for that?
The lightest you can get away with. I mean, I think jig head's kind of like your favorite flavor of ice cream. I can tell you my favorite, but the tungsten jig head, the Queen's Tackle has a couple of really good heads. They have the one with that weird tilt, but that one, you don't get the same casting distance as the regular jig head size. But again, whichever one you pick, go with the lightest head possible. That's going to give you the best fluttery action.
Nice. I like how you equated it to ice cream. I always say it's like, because people are like, what's your favorite? I'm like, which kind of ketchup do you like?
Yeah.
Like Ford Chevy.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
What
that's
else do we
my
got
new
here?
section.
Well, I haven't been here in forever, so
really,
just walk
I did
me
a lot
through.
of rearranging.
Ooh.
I tried to move a lot of my, so we got my X Zone.
Everyone loves
right
X Zone.
I know, they're popular. And then I tried to move all my jackhammer chatterbait trailers to this section. So we've got so again, what's your favorite flavor? You have your Zacco. Jeremy Radford loves the Lake Fork Magic Shad, obviously. He's taking that color. We got the Crush City new stuff. The Power Bait Deal and the Power Stinger, their go-to. Chatterspike. Spunk Shans, and then Barry's got his called the Stinger.
The Zacco is really good. Again, it depends on what you're trying to get out of it. With all of these, as you can tell here, is the ribbed action here, so it has more movement left and right when you're putting it down. I've also seen some people go with more of a crawl style if you want to get it to elevate a little bit more. That's a very unique situation. You're dealing with like shallow, rocky smallmouth water, or you're dealing with high weeds, something like that. This one right here is extremely good. It also is like what size jackhammer. With this one, it's a little bit bigger, so if you're going to go with more of like the baby jackhammer or the jackhammer mini, something like the, guys, you know I'm terrible with names if you watch the show, the Zacco. The Zacco. This is a little bit tinier, so it can be a little bit more compact.
Yeah, that's the 3-inch. It's gonna have it.
Yes.
3-inch.
I think it's
because they have 3 different kinds, right? They have the 3-inch,
3, 4,
the 3, the 4, and what else? The other, and then they have the paddle tail. Do you know that? The Kickin' Zacco.
Ooh, there we go. Again, tail. And then you still have that ribbing in there to really get that movement left and right.
Yep.
And then people asked me before, like, well, can you use this as a swim bait? Yes, you can. The problem is it's almost too much action on its own, and it really doesn't have that same kind of swimming motion you'd want just from a pure swim bait.
All right. I even threw the Great Lakes stuff in with the regular minnows now.
Okay, Great Lakes stuff. I cannot say, this is, again, something, this is my favorite flavor of ice cream.
Excited.
Yeah, the Great Lakes stuff here, what I like about this, you guys know I fish Big Slack, the Upper Potomac right now, that's my home water. And we're dealing with a lot of smallmouth. Big Slack has a ton of smallmouth. A lot of them are about 11.5 inches to 12 inches, but you can have 50 fish days. And going with these tiny minnow baits to kind of mimic the little shad, or the little shiners I think they are that are in there, is really important. But these things are also a lot of fun for crappie fishing. As you guys know, I have scope in my boat, and I just enjoy going out for bluegill, crappie. I just like to fish. And so what's really cool about these tinier baits is you can catch pretty much anything that ever existed on them. Tons of great colors and stuff. Again, with smallmouth specifically, or maybe you're on a lake with a lot of threadfin shad specifically, having those tinier minnow baits are huge. Now, another thing that is just peanut butter and jelly is gulp. If I had to pick one bait so I could survive on like Naked and Afraid, it probably would be gulp with a jig minnow, because a catfish, a crappie, anything in the water will eat this thing. And when conditions are tough, that scent I think is a huge game changer. So go check out both those baits. Again, there's so many jig heads. I could probably go pick up a couple and just show you guys that too at the back end of this tour that we're doing. And then, the Grub Menace. This is one of my favorite heads, or favorite trailers for swim jigs, chatterbait, stuff like that. The smoked shad is one of my favorite colors, and the bluegill too. Again, it just gives you just enough kicking action that has that tight kicking action that you'll see in a lot of bait fish, but not that massive action that the rage crawl necessarily has.
Well,
and it's
then
compact.
You got your chunks, but I think those are mostly used for your jigs.
Yes.
The scrub is one that I know one of
It's a really fun bait.
guy that I used to have you here a lot a long time ago. He loved the scrub, and so I think that's like a under.
Yeah, scrub.
Noticed.
Uncle Pork used to be the thing back in the day.
Uncle Pork, Uncle Josh.
Uncle Josh. Thank you. You guys having a Joe Biden moment here. Missile baits. You got Zoom there. Both really, really fun.
Now, so
Crawls
this
as well.
is new for Barry.
Ooh, Barry's
Yes.
pumping out some good ones.
He is. So that is a chunk that everybody's loved. They love to pair that one with Roger's jig.
And then
especially the Smalley jig.
And the why is because, and you can't, I don't know if you can see this on camera. Actually, here we go. So if you guys look at my pinky here with this, just for size, you can see this thing's tiny. And that's why it's so good with, I'm going to call them Uncle Roger's jigs, because that would be a way better branding. But Roger's jigs, that's really, really good size for like the smallmouth jigs. And also, honestly, for if you're fishing colder water or a front in the early spring or the fall, this is a perfect size for one of those micro jigs. But I'll be picking up some of these for my next smallmouth tournament, that's for sure.
There we go. All right, and then we got our stuff.
Oh, and then let's blow the water out of this. I've already got enough hate mail on this.
Why do you have hate mail on this?
Because I blew out the secret of these things that have been around for God knows how long.
Everybody knows about these.
I know. But Helgramites, guys, they work. I don't know why they work. They shouldn't work as well as they do. But for some reason, when the smallmouth are keyed in on these things, it makes a huge difference. And this is the bigger size that Nico makes. Again, the plastic, it's very stretchy. You can last a long time with these baits. You want the lightest head you can get away with, because what makes this work so well is it's floating. And what was so crazy is I hooked this on an EWG style weightless hook one time just for fun, and I watched it on the surface, and I still had fish come up and get it. Granted, that was when the conditions were a lot cleaner right now, but these Helgramites, for some reason, they just work.
It's not a secret. I've known about these for a long time.
There you go.
Plus, you got Yum coming out with theirs. Venom have theirs. Great Lakes Finesse has one. Everybody knows about the Helgrite.
And then, guys, they started to carry my jig, so I didn't have to pay shipping and handling to other
Who
places.
else loves these things?
Who?
Travis Cyber.
There you go. Dirty jigs. What makes them so good, honest, to me, in my opinion, is just the color selection here. Their tactical shad color is fantastic because it matches minnows, shad, everything. You put any trailer on that a little bit darker colored, you can get more like a minnow color with it, and it's compact. Cut the skirt down a little bit, so it's a nice compact package for a smallmouth too. Absolutely a killer bait. And then my favorite color.
Roger makes a swim jig.
Ooh, Roger makes a swim jig?
You didn't know that? Yeah, we started doing
Right
it
here.
when everybody's favorite, that one right there, was harder to get. He started making them for me. But
And then I've won a lot of money on this one over the years. This is their bluegill color one here. Fantastic for like Sleeter's Lake, Occoquan Reservoir, places like that where they're on a bluegill bite, a perch bite. You get that gin clear water. you're going to go with a lighter head and a heavier head. A lighter head for if you want to just really slowly pendulum down in the depths, or if you're working it over really tall grass. Then you want a little bit heavier one so you can work the edges, or like I did when I wanted Nye Reservoir, which I got all of my baits from here with that. I went with an insanely heavy one. I went with, where is it? Here it is, the No Jack. So I messed up because I have a lot of these baits, and if I could ask Dirty Jigs to do one thing, it would be that they would actually etch it on the bait, but I put on a regular one that I got from here, and then I broke it off on like a 6-pounder. And it literally bent the whole hook out. So I had to switch to a No Jack because I was fishing extremely heavy lily pads, and I was bending the hook out. So I went to the No Jack, never had that problem again. So you have to also think about that too when you're doing this. You're fishing heavy cover straight braid, and if you're fishing for really big ones, go with that No Jack. It's got that little bit stronger hook so you can just winch them out. If you're dealing with lighter grass or not very big fish, go with the regular one or the finesse one. Got your hair jigs, which will be coming in, and of course the wall of chatterbaits, the bait that everyone throws. And if you ask people online, they say like, nope, it's just the jigging minnow. That's it. It's like, that's absolute poppycock. It's the chatterbait will still sell, still catch them everywhere you go, especially in Virginia and Maryland with the Upper Bay, Potomac, the James River, all these places like that. And then again, guys, you got the crappie baits here, but they'll catch smallmouth. They'll catch fish when they don't. When they get into some really tiny stuff, and this is what Forward Facing Sonar has done so well.
Look at that thing.
I think, yeah.
I got this, guys. So I thought it would be great for a jig trailer.
It is. It's good for a jig trailer. It's good straight on its own.
Yeah.
Again, with Forward Facing Sonar, we've learned that these fish will actually key in on super tiny bait fish sometimes. In the summertime, in the fall, they will for some reason. Being able to have this, like the crappie stuff available and in your boat is big, because when that time comes, you'll be ready for it. And it doesn't take up much space, just a little bag like that. And of course, we got the whole 6th Sense stuff here, which I need to start experimenting with at some point too. Really, really, really. And then of course the Jamiki heads, like, again, so much cool stuff here. John, if you're listening, they do have 6th Sense stuff in here if you want to come buy them out. And then guys, please tell me right now with this thing right here, what would you catch them on? What would you actually, I might get this just as a joke.
Dude, some of my kids, they buy them. I say kids, they're 20-somethings now, but
my God, that is massive.
People like, well, I mean, it's no different than some of this stuff back here. So, like, look.
Holy smokes, look at that.
Right, everybody throws that big old Nessie, so the only difference is probably going to be your weight.
Mm-hmm. This thing feels like it's a dumbbell.
But yeah, I mean, but you're right, muskie, that's big. So if you got to have a big old rod. I think that's the difference, like, on that is going to be the weight, not necessarily the size.
Yeah. And guys, this thing is massive. It doesn't do it justice. This thing's probably as long as SB's arm.
Does it say anything in English on there?
I don't think so.
No, it's all Japanese. Except for their address. Oh, it's 130 grams.
There you go.
Zachary, what's 130 grams in ounces?
Do the math.
1.5 ounces. How many?
4.5.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
It's 4.5
4.5. It's almost half.
That's
wild.
That's true. That's big. 4.5 ounces. So what's the Nessie?
The Nessie is
2 ounces.
2 ounces.
So double.
Right there. Double the Nessie.
Double the weight
That's
of the
wild.
Nessie.
So you're going to need some heavy tackle for that thing.
I take back what I said.
And know what you're looking for.
Looks like you're picking up a rod.
Yes, I'm going to pick up a rod now.
Censor that. Don't tell Carly.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell Carly about that. But again, I like a medium light for my jig and minnow stuff personally, because again, you want to go with the lightest bait humanly possible. And so I like to go with that lighter tip so I can get more casting distance and get a little bit better feel. I've tried a medium light before, but just for me and my DNA, that's great. And you guys know I really don't like...
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I don't like beating the bank there, but anyway, guys, we're going to be switching this up because the legends themselves have just come in.
All right, what, are you taking the camera? Or, I thought, you can take my mic. Here. What? No. We're doing, you guys have become popular on my...
are?
I don't know. We just... I just
know.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry.
You don't have to clip it. You
You
can
got
pass
45 yesterday, I got 40.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did end up with, you probably saw the picture. I did end up with another citation yesterday.
I think he
so-
may have had two. I think he had one by weight.
All right, and we also want to point out what's today, because this will come up in a couple weeks. This is the 8th.
July 8th.
So it's right
Right.
before the big storm comes up. So do we think that had something to do with it?
Right, and actually, we've been waiting for about, 4 or 5 days
Yeah.
for the river to
Couldn't
come
get on the
back
river.
to drop in water volume and then clear up some.
We thought we were good to go. It got down, and we showed up early in the morning to do it, and they had that real bad pop-up thunderstorm at Bentonville. And we were putting in at the state park.
Yeah, we were going to do the
It
state
was wiped
park. We
out.
got washed out. So we bailed on that and did the Morgan Ford thing, and that's when I caught that
Got the big
walleye.
walleye.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no,
Fishing's good right
your
now.
rigging video just posted today. So
Oh, okay,
we'll see
cool.
How popular
Yeah.
you really are.
And that, yeah, exactly. Well, I'm using the same rigging and on that Helgermite, the little Nico Helgermite, which turned out to work really good yesterday too.
So I got a little story.
Oh shoot.
When I was,
Yeah, but you're
was up
sharing
here-
it with the public, so be
Story time.
When I
careful.
was up here last time, he talked me into buying some of those leeches, Nico
Yes,
leeches.
Nico leeches.
Okay, I went down, jumped in the back of a bass boat, and entered the Double Down Dave Fauntleroy Sunday morning tournament at Lake Emma. So we fish, 10 o'clock. The weigh-in's at 11. You blast at 6. It's only a 5-hour tournament. 10 o'clock, we have no fish in the boat. And my guide, he's like, okay, I just know one other thing. We've been hitting deep. Let's go try some shallow. So we went way up the lake, and we went on a boat dock that was only in 3 foot of water. And he said, we catch them here. Fishing all around for a good 35, almost 40 minutes. And he's like, well, we got to think about where we're going to go now. And I'm like, whoa. I thought about the leeches. I said, whoa, let me try it. So I tied it on. I didn't throw it 3 minutes. Get a bite, bip, 5 pounds, 2 ounces, $420.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Big bass.
Nico
Big bass.
Leach.
Nico
Wow.
Leach
Nico
this past weekend.
3 foot of water.
Dang.
And Timmy told me,
It does work.
That's impressive.
Timmy
it does
Sheridan told me that he said he couldn't do anything. Everybody was all over everything, and the boat traffic was horrendous.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yep.
How's the river flow been for people that are going to be fishing the Shenandoah right now when this comes out?
Okay, so right now,
Is it dangerous?
no, not
No,
right now.
not right now.
So I go to the NOAA weather and look at the river forecast, and you can click on the water gauges, and you can look at the height, whether you're rising or falling, and they also have what's predicted based on what's flowing into the river. And I watch those and keep a close eye on that. But most of them, like the Lou Ray one, if you're looking at that one, I think it's in the 2 foot mark, or it's vice versa. Really, you have Lou Ray, and then you have the one at Riverton. So you want it somewhere in the 2 foot. One of them will say 2 foot, and the other will say 3 foot. If one is below that, then you're about right. So
What did we figure that time when we did real good? We were like 189.
188, yeah, 1.88 is
189.
there, and I guess they use meters. They don't use feet, but it's hard to kind of convert.
So
all
it's
that.
getting there. They're predicting it to be there by Friday.
But we were what we would consider slightly high yesterday, and you would have to go back and look at what the reading was, but we would say what was maybe 2 to 3 inches higher than
Yep.
normal.
And in certain spots, we tried to anchor, and we're like, no, we're not comfortable
It was
with
just too
this. And-
swift, and it's
Yeah.
just dragging the boat. And
But we
flipping it
did
around.
anchor a lot of it.
And this is good to know because, again, I've gotten a lot of messages since what happened in Texas,
Posted
and
next
now,
time.
and now everybody is afraid. Well, people can hear my voice; everyone doesn't care. But people are messaging me now because of what the tragedy that happened in Texas, and now everyone's like, "Well, clearly we can't fish the Shenandoah or the Potomac because we could die in a flood." So I'll probably try to post something about that. Like that was a freak thing with the rain and the rising water. But check the flow rates if you're really terrified
Yeah.
about
Right.
that. Clearly, there's a guy that went in the drink and messed up my leg and lost a bunch of stuff. You know, don't just look at Google Earth Maps because when you're looking at that thing going down, it looks like a riffle, but it doesn't show you the
It doesn't
grade.
show you the
3-4 foot
elevation
drop that it
Right.
may be.
And we kind
Right.
of ran into that too on one of the trips. Morgan Ford has
Yeah,
like a
Morgan
3 foot
Ford.
drop off, and we hadn't been on that section, and so we were floating down it, and you're listening, you hear the rushing water.
Yep.
And you're getting closer, and of course we kind of bailed off to the side and got a good look at it. But we basically just there's a little island there you can drag right across.
Drag
Like,
right
you don't even
around
have
it.
to
We
drop.
portage it.
You don't
Yeah.
even have
Yeah.
to do the drop.
That's smart. Yeah.
So, and that way you're not risking losing all your gear. Now, if you're just in if you're just paddling in a kayak, you take the 3-foot standing waves and you don't worry about it, you know. But if you've actually got a boat full of expensive gear, you try to avoid losing that stuff.
And have a float buddy. That's a big thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Sadly, my float buddy, he popped his kayak and left, so I was stranded. I had to actually climb back up the waterfall with the kayak because otherwise I had nobody to pick me up and I had no cell service. So in a perfect world, you have somebody with you, so if there's an accident, you have someone to get a hold of them, because the Shenandoah and parts of the Potomac, sometimes you don't have service.
Right.
There's no
Right.
cell service.
And we tried.
Yeah.
We tried that yesterday. We tried to call somebody from down in.
Yeah,
we
I
couldn't
would
get out.
never.
Couldn't get out.
I would never, ever, ever do the river now at my age without company.
No, yeah.
Plenty of company.
Even this old guy? Yeah, see? 2 old guys are better than one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But then again, 2 old guys could end up in the same crap, and both of you be screwed.
Having flipped.
So yeah, you just
Yeah.
got to you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, a lot of it has to do with looking at. I spend an enormous amount of time just riding up and down the road, looking at the river before
Yeah.
we even go.
And we grew up floating the Potomac and the Upper Potomac and the Shenandoah, so we know. I've seen tragedy on that river. At Bentonville, I witnessed a drowning there that years ago. The water was over the low water bridge.
But I will tell you, so if you're looking at going on the Shenandoah above Front Royal, there's Luray Avenue. It's right off of Kreiser Road, but there's a park there called Eastham. Go to Eastham, go down to the river, and there's an old concrete abutment that sticks out into the river. If you can see that, if it's above water, if there's not water flowing over it, you're good.
You're good.
If there's water flowing over that, it's high, and you might not want to get on it.
There you guys go. That's a video.
It's
right
just
there.
an easy way to tell looking at it. Visually, I look at it, we're good. So, but we did pretty good yesterday.
Well, good. Well, good. And
I lost 2 big ones. Lost a big one on a crankbait, and I broke one off on a Zoom fluke.
But the Nico Leech works, and it won money.
Yes.
One money. I think that's a good place to stop.
Guys, head on over to Jake's Bait and Tackle. I don't know when this is going to air, but remember, next week, iCast, we're going to be going live a couple of the days. Stay tuned for that on my channel. And then we're also going to do a wrap-up show, I think on Friday, the day that they leave, where everyone's going to give their opinions on what they like. So go check that out.
All right. Thanks, guys.